George Clooney and Brad Pitt's new movie, Wolves, is on Apple TV Plus September 27th.
That's where I want you to be now.
So if you want to see George Clooney and Brad Pitt, go to Apple TV Plus.
You got to start the story there.
Or if you want to see Brad Pitt and George Clooney, go to Apple TV Plus.
I am enjoying the show.
And if you want to see their new movie, Wolves,
You can't do it, I'm going to help you out. I can do it. So do it.
definitely go to Apple TV Plus.
Admit it. It's cool. Okay, fine. It was very cool.
Wolves, streaming September 27th on Apple TV Plus. Rated R.
Entertaining and informative.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
Two themes on today's program. One, of course, President Trump in town, and I will be there tonight. Be with the Long Island motorcade, big deal, to see Trump at the Nassau Coliseum. And then Howard Stern, who I called out already this morning. I'm going to call him out every segment. I hope it gets to him. It may or may not. It may, and he may not do anything about it. I don't know. He thinks he's the greatest thing ever. He actually was for a long time, but to call out 70 million Americans, people who love me and people who love Trump, our supporters, is where Stern now has me at the point where I want to punch him across the face. Somebody please tell Howard Stern that Sid Rosenberg wants to punch you across the face. So last night, as I told you about 40 minutes ago, the Rosenbergs, thanks to Lara Trump, her next-door neighbor Elise, true story, we went to this FIDF event at Chelsea Piers, and I heard a lot of things about the FIDF afterwards I didn't know I don't like. But for those few hours in the building, Pier 60, it was lovely. I met Noah Argamani, one of our courageous hostages, and her father. I actually met the soldiers, part of that Operation Ornan that saved her life, along with 3 other hostages. Michael Rappaport did a great job of hosting. They raised millions of dollars. Where that money goes, that's the other issue. I don't know. But it was a great night. Alex Traiman is smiling because he knows, I guess, more about this than I do. I had no idea. Ira Savetsky told me this. But I'm happy because I was just looking at the weather, talking about Israel, and it's going to be in the 60s this weekend. So I can't keep this magnificent tan that I've got anymore. Even tanning salon won't do it. But I'm going to Israel in a couple of weeks, and you told me, Alex, that the weather is like 100 degrees there, and the beaches are not far from where we're going to do the show. And I told the guys at One Israel Fund, I need some free time. You cannot have me doing tours every 6 seconds. I've done them all already, okay? I love Eve Harrow. I love all these people, Provisor, all of them. I can't do tours all day, every day. I got to go to the gym. I go to the beach. So it's still nice there, yes?
Still very nice, but you haven't seen all the tours yet. There's so much to see.
I know, but I can't do it, man. It's like, you know, I'm doing a 4-hour radio show, and then I have dinner. It's nighttime by the time we're off the air. It's like 5 o'clock at night. And, you know, you got people in the lobby of the hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning. Becomes a long day, you know?
It's a long day.
Long day. So they've already got, it's a brutal schedule for me, because Monday we're doing the show just outside of Gaza, right there. And Wednesday we're doing the show from the north. Tuesday and Thursday from your beautiful studios. So by the time Shabbos comes on Friday and Yom Kippur on Saturday, I'm ready to drop. It's a big week, though, isn't it? Huge.
It's going to be a big week, and it's a great time to come. The holidays is a very special time in Israel. Everybody feels it.
It is, but with October 7th, me being there on that Monday, again, doing the show just outside of Gaza, I was still listening to a captain, I forget exactly his title in the Army, but he did a video show last night, and they showed the faces of over 700 Israeli soldiers were killed. And a lot of them are like, I was shocked. I'm sorry, not that they matter more, but beautiful young girls like her. And they weren't even fighting. They were just, you know, working that day or living at the kibbutz, and they were murdered, you know. And he said it's going to be a very, very tough day that day. So even before we get to, yes, Yom Kippur and the holidays and all that good stuff, that Monday, I would imagine, is going to be brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenging time. We'll have to see how the Israeli population responds to that. But, there's so much resilience in Israel, and that's the real thing. I don't think you're going to see a society broken down on October 7th. You're going to see a society with a purpose, a society that recognizes what it needs to do, a determination to win and to overcome. Israelis, they clean up the mess really fast, and they get on with it, and they do what they got to do.
Alex Traiman, the CEO of JNS.org. So my daughter Ava's here. She's in a different room. She'll be in this studio at 8:15. You know her story, how she was doxxed. And so she sat yesterday at this event next to Rachel Goldberg's first cousin, young girl like her. And she walks over to me, and she says, "It's great to meet you. And I want you to know that Rachel, John, all of us, the whole family, we watch all your stuff on Instagram. Every time Rachel has been on your show, we listened." I'm like, "Come on." She goes, "Sid, I'm telling you the truth. We're all very, very big fans and grateful for all you've done," which I started to cry, of course. And I said, it's probably a bad time to ask, being that it's the 1-year commemoration and her son has been murdered. But I wouldn't mind seeing Rachel again, because I saw Rachel in your studios last year. And she said, it's going to be tough, no question, but Rachel loves you so much that she may do it. But you remember her in those studios with us.
Exactly.
And what's happened since is just, Alex, we were this close to getting them out. This close.
We really were. Yeah, we just had a hostage rescue just several days before. And unfortunately, the orders have changed, and Hamas knows that if the IDF is getting close, that they are going to execute the soldiers, the hostages. They don't want Israel to rescue any of these hostages. They don't want any of them to come back alive. They just want to use them as a lever to psychologically terrorize the Israeli public and to gain upper ground in negotiations.
And yet, this ingrate that's running for president, that's all she is to me. She's garbage to me. Harris. She's on doing an interview yesterday. She's now done 2 sit-down interviews. She's got a third one coming up tomorrow with Oprah Winfrey. I mean, it's going to be a real hard-hitting interview. She says yesterday again, two-state solution. And she's actually proud of the fact that she's with Biden on keeping the 2,000-pound bombs from Israel, because she says on TV, that's our leverage. Wait a second. A United States president talking about leverage against Israel? And not to pat myself on the back, but I do it every time you're on. I told you this Monday, October 9th, about Biden and this whole administration. Did I not?
You told me. Yeah, absolutely.
But you're still disappointed, aren't you?
We hoped for better, certainly. There's been some support, but there's been, as you mentioned, leverage. They're putting sanctions against Israeli citizens. Some of them were protesting humanitarian aid going into Gaza while Hamas is still holding Israeli hostages. Some of them just living in Judea and Samaria, planting roots over there, and the withholding of weapons. So you're seeing actually they're laying out the strategy for what could happen after this war, where you could have the international community laying down sanctions on Israel. You could have arms embargoes across the board. We already saw the UK say that they're considering withholding arms from Israel. So this is the beginnings of what Israel could face, and we don't really know what the aftermath of this war is, because we're still fighting it.
I know you're on the same page as me with Bibi Netanyahu. You know him, actually. I don't. I'm been efforting to get him on this show forever. You, Norm Coleman, Ron Dermer. Will somebody help me with Bibi, please? I mean, Jesus. The guy's on with Dana Bash, who hates him. He's on with Margaret Brennan, who hates him. He's on Fox News every week. There's not one journalist. I'm not a journalist, forget it. There's not one entertainer in New York who's more pro-Bibi than me. So next week he's going to be here to deliver a message at the UN. I'm going to stand outside his hotel room like a dick with a sign, Bibi, I love you. I mean, come on, it's embarrassing for me.
All right, we'll see what we can do. We'll make
you know
some,
him,
we'll
don't
make
you?
some calls.
Well, you know him well. I mean, you're like, don't you get upset, all kidding aside, when you have thousands of the hostage parents, they get a pass from me, okay? Even Rachel, she's a liberal. I wasn't happy she spoke at the DNC, even though the message was beautiful, okay? She gets a pass.
Well, it's important for her to speak to the DNC to get these people to realize, hey, wait a second, we're talking about American kids.
I know, but they don't care. They scream, bring them home. That is the dumbest the dumbest chant in the history of chants. What do you mean bring them home? Let them go. That's the chant. What do you mean bring them home? Like it's Bibi? Bibi can bring them home?
Exactly. They intentionally created that slogan. The people that created it are ad agencies that were part of all the anti-Netanyahu protests for years. And they specifically made it bring them home to put all the responsibility on their fate on the prime minister.
There you go.
As if the hostages are somehow in Netanyahu's basement.
Thank you. So, I've been saying this for months. Let them go. Let them go. So you get thousands of these people in Tel Aviv, and then you get these idiots in New York. I mean, one of the issues why I didn't enjoy last night as much as I should have was because I've gotten to the point where I really dislike Democrat Jews. They're my people. Don't care. They're not my people. Don't care. They're voting for people who are okay with Israelis being slaughtered in the streets, no matter what they say. For people that hold up paddles in Congress that say Israel, they're the war criminals. For people that go to sorority parties, instead of watching Bibi speak, they're not my people. And they're playing clips last night at this event from MSNBC, as if Joe and Mika all of a sudden speak for me. They don't speak for me. Trump speaks for me. Fox News speaks for me. So I've got a huge issue with the American Jews here in New York. And they're going to be out there, again, demonstrating when Bibi's here. It's not right.
Definitely not right. Israel's fighting so hard, and what we really need is unity in this time. I think that's the most important thing. It's important to unify all Israelis, those on the left, on the right, those in the United States, those that support Republicans, those that support Democrats. Israel's facing an existential threat right now, and we need everybody together. Prime Minister Netanyahu has been the prime minister for a long time. He's the man of the moment, whether people like him or not. Everybody needs for him to do an exemplary job at this time. And everybody should be putting their full support and backing behind the state of Israel. And I do think that it's important for people to consider in this election, what administration is going to help Israel moving forward.
Well, what's the answer? It's an obvious answer.
Well, that's for you to tell the listeners.
That's right. You can't say it. That's right. You got JNS. And now, again, introduce the young lady here. Come up, move your face right by that microphone.
Here's my daughter, Tamima, right, 21 years old.
Now, we've met at your house at Shabbos. And you got along great with my daughter Ava and my son Gabe. And you're 20. For some reason, I thought you was 18. You have an 18-year-old daughter too.
I have an
right?
18-year-old son.
Oh, the son. Okay. So you're here with your pop in New York, and you keep kind of shaking your head and give me a look like you tend to agree with almost everything that I say.
Well,
you do,
I do,
don't you?
I do.
Yeah. I mean, you're a very vocal leader in Israel. And so give me your thoughts on what's going on and where you are as a country right now.
Well, as a teen in Israel, well, not a teen anymore,
right.
But, the young people, we're really trying to stay strong, live life, continue living. We don't want to show anyone that we're cowering in our houses. I go to work every day, just really trying to show people that we're strong and that we're continuing to live our lives.
Right. I mean, I'm being at your house for Shabbos and Tzippi, who's your mom, who I love her, by the way. She can cook, very good cook. But you're living the life like everybody other kid here in New York. I mean, you go out, right? You go to restaurants,
absolutely.
You go to bars. You don't, I mean, even though there's people with rifles on every corner, it's kind of weird. But it doesn't really affect you. You're living, and your brothers like basketball and all that stuff, right?
Right, absolutely.
So you don't really even realize most of the time that you're in a war-torn country.
I mean, no, but it's also important to constantly remind ourselves, we have our soldiers who are my friends out, fighting for us. So It's very important, also from one point to continue living life as normal, but
right.
Also remember we still have hostages and always have that in mind. Remember our soldiers, pray for them every single day, and our hostages, and just, That's
what you have to do, pray for the hostages.
Yeah.
So on the way out, when Iran attacked a couple of months ago, and I was texting your father at 3 o'clock in the morning, you and Judah Honickman, were you nervous? I mean, you were getting bombarded with missiles and rockets.
I know. It was kind of crazy because everyone went to bed that night. And just me and my dad stayed awake, and he said, "You know what? Just prepare the bomb shelter for the night." Everyone was sleeping, fast asleep. Just prepare the bomb shelter, make sure everything's ready. We got blankets, we got drinks, food, just in case anything happens. And I was up late at night, getting everything ready. The minute I laid my head down on the pillow, the sirens went off.
Oh my God.
Crazy,
God.
Yeah.
So now, she's adorable, by the way. She's great. You remind me of my daughter. She's right inside. So before you
I
leave.
have to go say hi to her.
Yeah, well, just make sure you take her to see Ava before she leaves.
Okay.
So now, Iran strikes, okay? So now they're pissed again. Hezbollah's pissed again because it turns out this pager deal that went down, they're saying we did it, Israel. I hope to God, I know we did, because it was so brilliant. Could you imagine who would have the genius to booby trap pagers, that type of technology, and detonate them from I don't know how, and all at the same time? So it probably was us. I mean, I'll say it, you won't. But if what a genius way to attack, no?
Well, I think we all understand who did this.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty clear. I'm not a government spokesperson. I can say it. I'm a journalist.
Okay. So the Mossad was behind this. They're geniuses.
Yeah, obviously. So.
But does this mean now that here we go again? They're going to retaliate again? Are they not? They're going to do it when I get there.
Well, the genius of this type of attack is that it was a self-selecting attack on Hezbollah operatives, right? They had 3,000 of them carrying these pagers. So who would have attacked? Who would lead an attack? Why do they have these pagers? Were they about to commit an October 7th style attack on Israel? And now, you have thousands of them that are injured. Some of them with like eyes,
limbs
blown
off,
out,
eyes blown out, right.
Their hands, big holes in their hips.
But they were like civilians. They were like in supermarkets, and just like the innocent civilian Palestinians I keep hearing about all day long, that also were keeping hostages in their homes.
Exactly. Although in Lebanon the situation is a little bit different because a lot of the country actually hates Hezbollah. So they didn't all vote for Hezbollah the way the Gazans all voted for Hamas. But now these operatives, these terror operatives, these terrorists, they can't mobilize, right?
Yeah.
And how would they be mobilized if Hezbollah wants to attack? Their system for mobilizing was these pagers. So now they've destroyed the pagers. They've injured, all the operatives, and they probably prevented the loss of many, many, many lives in Israel. And they've got, Hezbollah looking over their shoulder, right? If Israel could manipulate 3,000 of their pagers, what else do they know?
Unbelievable. Unreal.
An incredible, daring, courageous, preemptive strike that's saved a lot of lives, and it's given Israel now a very significant advantage over Hezbollah, and let's see where the momentum carries.
In the final 60 seconds, I had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to go visit President Trump at Bedminster. I'm one of the quote-unquote Jewish voices for Trump. I'm very proud of that, Trump and Vance. A lot of my friends, you know them, Siggy Flicker and Stella Escobedo, and there's a ton of them. And Michelle Lubin-Terrace, who started Jexit. So they're doing the same event we did in Bedminster tomorrow in Washington, D.C. I've been invited. I can't go because I have a prior commitment with David Friedman, our friend David Friedman, the former ambassador. You are going to go to this event.
Well, I'm going to the Israeli-American Council. It's a big summit. And Trump will be speaking to the summit. Should be over 3,000 people there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's not even this event. That's even bigger.
This is a bigger event. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But it's they've also invited Democrats to speak there. I think they put out invitations to Biden and Harris. I don't think that they're going to show up.
You don't think so?
But there will be some Democrats there. I think Richie Torres is going to be there.
Richie's a very good pro-Israel guy. My wife loves him. And I don't, because he votes with Biden too much. So to me, I need you to be pro-American and pro-Israel. Being just one without the other doesn't work for me. You got to be both. So I like Richie. I don't love him like my family does. But I know he's probably beloved with you folks.
Oh, certainly. We'll take support from wherever we get it.
Sure.
It's we're let's say one issue. One issue.
No, him and Josh Gottheimer, another Democrat that is very, very pro-Israel.
It's important. What you think about abortion should have nothing to do with what you think about Israel or other things. It's
Couldn't agree more.
Doesn't everything? It's not all a bucket. It's not like okay, if you vote over here, then every single issue is like this. People should think for themselves, and they should know that regardless of how you vote, there's one country in the Middle East is an ally of the United States, and that's the state of Israel. And Hamas, Hezbollah, they're not allies of the United States. They're saying death to Israel. They're saying death to America.
Well, it's great to see you, and I want to do Shabbos with you again in 2 weeks.
Well, I think Shabbat is. I think it's Yom Kippur.
It is. So
Friday night, you can come to our house before the fast. We'll have a nice meal then. You can come to our house Saturday night. We'll break the fast in style. But Yom Kippur, it's going to be a much more intense experience. So maybe you'll come to synagogue with me.
I may have, because Judah Honigman wants me to come to his place. Mm-hmm. He lives by Ramallah. It's pretty dangerous over there. But he's been telling me to go to his place. So wherever I go, I have to go before Shabbos, because like you said, now I got to hunker down through Yom Kippur. But here's my problem. Sorry, don't be mad at me. I'm American Jew, okay? I can't go to shul for 9 hours. I go for Nila at the very end. I go for Kol Nidre for my father, and I'll do Marev. Otherwise, I got to watch college football. I'm sorry.
Well, you see how you feel when you get to Israel. You might feel the heaviness of October 7th. You might feel the seriousness of the Day of Atonement, and look, it's going to be a powerful experience.
Okay, well, I'll see you there for sure.
Definitely.
Sippy's a great cook. I'll see your boys and your lovely daughter. Go see Justin. Make sure she sees Ava before she leaves, and enjoy DC tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you again in Israel. There'll be 2 shows from your wonderful studios, and then we'll spend the weekend. So.
Amazing. Looking
awesome.
forward.
I love you. By the way, Danielle sends her love to you guys. We'll take a short break. If there's any place you want to go for Israel information, there's only one. Not the Jerusalem Post. I get it. It's like the New York Times. Fiction. JNS.org. JNS.org. My man Alex Traiman is the CEO. He is he's a great Israeli and a great American, folks. Don't forget, New York guy.